Hello, guys. We'll be starting in just a moment. Key stage 3 and 4. We're going to be looking at ranting poetry. I'm going to be looking at some poetry by John Cooper Clarke, a couple of poems that I've written myself, and I'm going to show you how you can create your own pieces using a certain form that I kind of call the fourth line is the title. All right, start in a sec. Okay, so we'll get people popping up on the thread in a moment. Once you've appeared, feel free to say hi. Okay, cool. Nice to see you guys. How's it going? Lovely to. We've got people popping on. I'm just checking my overlays, making sure that we're all ready to go. Fantastic. Okay, so we'll be starting in just a moment, guys. About 30 seconds. I hope you guys are doing all right. If you're just popping on, feel free to say hello. Cool people popping in, say hello. Now, today is an ambitious session. We're going to try and do, going to create some poetry that's going to be using a certain kind of technique. This is the last session we're going to do on kind of poetic stuff until right at the very end. But I think we're going to do some really cool stuff, and I think you'll get a lot out of this. This form is the form that I have used the most within my work as a writer, and I think once you understand it, you can unpack it and use it for like loads of different pieces that you work on. So let's have a look. My goodness. Okay, yeah, we're getting there. I think that's looking good. Fantastic. Okay. Okay, so we can start in just 10 seconds. Nice to see you guys. How's it going? How's it going? Oh my goodness, you guys are. Okay, cool. That's absolutely fine. I can see on YouTube. Lucy, lovely to see you. If you have to pop off at some point, that's very polite. You're very no worries at all. Stick around for as long as you can. That's totally fine. But that's very polite that you're saying you might have to pop off at some point. Greetings from Belgium. Oh, cool. Hey, Drago, nice to see you. Yeah, I haven't battled in a while, have I? I kind of get people popping on here every now and then to say hello, to chat about the battling. I might do it again at some point, but at the moment, I'm kind of just writing poems and stories and stuff, and I'm kind of trying to do what I can, I suppose, at the moment to kind of offer some creative writing stuff during the lockdown. I hope Belgium. I don't know what it's like over there, the lockdown in Belgium, but I hope it's not too bad. Over here, we're still kind of pretty much stuck. Things are kind of opening up a bit, but it's kind of tricky. But yeah, hey guys, right? So my name's Mark. I'm a poet and I'm a rapper and I'm a write stories and things. And I used to be a teacher. And these sessions are all about how we can improve our creative writing. Today, I wanted to look at an idea that's quite complex. We're going to look at a type of writing that I've come to know as the fourth line is the title. So the way this is going to work, first of all, I thought we might do a little bit of a warm up to get us kind of going and being creative this morning. So what I'd suggest is this: everyone who's kind of watching on the thread, you're going to need a pen and a piece of paper to take part in today's workshop. I thought this might be kind of fun. Like maybe we could each suggest a word that we would like to include in a piece of uh, writing. Oh, cool. Hello, Jasmine. Nice to see you. So we're going to try and come up with a word. Here we go. Think of a word. Just a kind of reminder. Nothing rude, please, guys. But a word that you'd like to include in a piece of writing. So yeah, nothing rude. But a word that you think would be interesting and you would like to have included in a piece of writing. I'm going to include the word escape. That's going to be my suggestion. Okay. So that's what I'm going to suggest is the word escape. I'm going to give you guys like a minute to add. If you want to type a word into the chat, I will take all these words. We're going to see what we come up with. So feel free, you can choose any word, put it into the chat, and I will we'll put that into the mix. And we'll see how many suggestions we get, and we're going to then see if we can write something involving all those words. It might be kind of fun. All right, cool. So let's see how we're going. We've got a minute over here. So if you're just joining us and popping on the thread, okay, we've got a few more people on. Hello, my name is Mark. We're going to do a quick writing exercise. You can type this or you can write by hand. If you want to suggest a word, chuck it in the comments. It can be any word you can think of that is not rude or offensive. And we'll put it in and we'll see what we can come up with. Blowfish, fantastic. Cheers. Cheers, Drago. That's going to make it interesting straight off the bat. Cool. We got rush, we got run, we got scare, we got loads of words popping in. Fantastic. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type a bunch of these up and I'm going to put them up on the screen in a moment. And sometimes I think what we worry about when we're writing creatively is we worry about getting everything perfect. Last session, we were in the desert of perfection, weren't we? And we kind of felt how uncomfortable it is when we worry about being perfect. We don't need to worry about being perfect. We should be happy to make mistakes. And so this first exercise today is going to get us feeling less serious about what we're writing and okay with kind of experimenting and making some mistakes. So I'm going to see if I can include some of these words. So the words that we've got, the first word I've put down was escape. I think I can include these as I'm talking to you. I'm kind of trying to do two things at once, but I think it should be all right. And I'm kind of interested to see if this works. So we've got escape. Oh, I see. Okay, I've got... all right, I'm going to go with astonishing. I like that. That was the first one that Jack has suggested there. Cool. Oh, I shouldn't have finished there. Let me edit it. We've got astonishing. Oh, is that petrified that we've got being suggested? Okay, cool. We've got petrified. What else have we got? Let's have a look. We've got, oh, cool. Wow. We got blowfish. I'll put blowfish in. And I'll definitely put blowfish, and we got later. Cool. Let's see if we can get a couple more. Let's go for, I think rush is nice, and I've put petrified. Okay, I'm going to put one more in. Let's go for. I'm just going to give you. Going to give you a colour. I'll put the colour green in as well. All right, cool. So we've got a bunch of letters. So here's the challenge. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. That's all I'm going to give you. And I want you to give me a piece of writing that includes all of these words. All right. Now, it might be a poem. It might be a piece of a start of a story. It can be, do you know what? I'm going to add one more. I am going to add magnificent because I like that. I want to see how many of these words you can include. Now, I don't care how you do this, right? I don't care. Like, I'm not going to tell you how to write a poem. I'm not going to tell you how you write your story. But the challenge is, can you? We don't worry about making it perfect. We try and see if we can get as many of these words in the piece of writing as we can. And I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do it, which is not long. So you can't really overthink it. If you grab your pen and you've got your piece of paper ready to go, I am going to start the timer and we're going to see what you can come up with. Now, don't worry about sharing this afterwards. This is just a chance for you to try it out, and it's just for you to kind of like get some ideas on a piece of paper. So what do you think you will come... Okay, cool. Adam, you joined a bit late. No worries. Adam, what we're doing, we've got these words that have been suggested here. And you know what? I'm going to add another word to it. Why not? I'm going to give you 3 minutes instead of 2. I'm going to go like late is going to be another one because Adam, you just put the word late in. Fantastic. So what we're going to do is we are going to have a go at writing a piece of writing that includes all of these words that have been suggested. We don't worry about it being perfect. We are going to just scribble down whatever comes to mind, but we're going to see if we can use all of these words within the piece of writing. Perhaps it's a poem, perhaps it's a story. I don't mind, but I'm going to give you 3 minutes and we're going to see what you come up with. This is really just to get us used to like having a go at writing. So grab the pen, grab the paper, ready, see what you come up with. Go for one of them straight away. Don't worry about it. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's just supposed to be getting us warmed up and thinking about writing. So 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so 3 minutes. What are you going to come up with? What are you going to write that's using all of those words? Let's put some music on. Fantastic. I'm loving the fact we got some Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4 students on here. We also have some adults, and also if you're joining us afterwards, you're very welcome to be here. I know we're getting a lot of people popping in from different countries around the world, which is really cool. And like, feel free, you should be taking part as well, having a go. You can follow everything in this workshop as long as you've got a pen and a piece of paper. So what can you come up with these words in 3 minutes? Oh, Lucy, I love Frozen Heart, by the way. I love that you just kind of put that down. That's a really nice kind of combination of words. That sounds cool. So remember, we don't worry about this being perfect. We don't have to share this with anyone. This is just about you getting used to writing something. I feel a bit like writing is a bit like white water rafting. Like, often when I got a mate who kind of teaches people how to whitewater raft, he says until you get wet, you're really rubbish. You're scared of getting wet. You don't know what to do. But so he always makes sure people go in the water straight away, because once you've got in the water, you don't care about getting wet anymore, and you can be much better. So I think if we're going to be creative today, let's get writing, let's get wet, let's not worry about getting it perfect. See what we come up with, and once we've done that, we should be all ready to go and coming up with our pieces though. So what do you think? Now, as you're writing this, the only thing you're worrying about is how many of these words can you use. I'm not expecting you to get them all included. I don't think I could. I think I would struggle. I did this the other day with a group of adults in a workshop, and I think I was only able to get, I think, about eight of the words down. So I kind of really struggled. Like, let's see how you can do. Oh, fantastic. Adam, you like kind of like popped in going, oh, sorry, I'm late. By the way, boom. And you just kind of come up with a fantastic piece of writing there, utilizing them all. Great stuff. Well done. Um, let's see how we do those. 30 seconds left. Remember, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't get them all. It doesn't matter what you come up with. This is just about getting us loosened up. Oh, fantastic, Lucy. I love what you've got there. That's really good. That's really, really good. Okay, cool. I feel like we're getting warmed up. This is nice. Okay, so time is up. Okay, so I'm going to take these words down. If you want to carry on with this while I'm talking, you absolutely can do. If you really enjoy the piece, you can carry on exploring it. All of these sessions, they're really about taking you seriously as a writer and you coming up with what you want to come up with. So I'm totally cool with that. Let's have a look at a couple of examples to see what we've got. So we're not worried about being perfect. We're just experimenting. As I dawned upon, let's have a look at this. The maze that I needed to escape, I would to the magnificent blowfish. No one ever found the magnificent animal. But if you're late, you'll be petrified. If you're early, you'll be astonished. There is no need to rush through the long green grass, but we will eventually get there. I mean, I actually really like that line. There is no need to rush through the long green grass. We will, but we will eventually get there. We will eventually get. I think that's got a really lovely rhythm to it. I think that's a nice. You could remove that from the rest of it, and that could be a really lovely poetic line that I think could be really powerful. Oh, cool, fantastic! Today I was going to be late for my escape, Jasmine. My face looked petrified. Excellent use of petrified. I looked magnificent. I was very late for class. Excellent. So I look great. But I'm a bit late to turn up. Very good, Lucy. Very clever. We've got later. I rushed to the green translucent. Like the word translucent we've got in there. That's nice. Magnificent sea. I see a blowfish. My mind explodes with excitement. It is the most astonishing fish I've ever seen. I was late for my escape. I was petrified of those daring eyes, the ragged teeth of that blowfish. I really like I was late. Do you know what I often find with these? Once you get a few lines in, is when you kind of hit the gold in the piece of writing, and we can always take lines out of this to use in other stuff. But I was late for my escape is a really interesting poetic line. because how could you be late for escaping from something? That's kind of bizarre, but I love it. I think that's a really interesting line. I was petrified of those daring eyes, I think is a really lovely line as well. Because like the rhyme, the assonance with petrified and daring eyes. I think that's lovely. There's some really, really clever lines in there. Great. So this exercise, getting some random words, writing with it, is a good way to get us started and get us not worried about kind of making some mistakes. Today is a challenging workshop. Today I'm going to try and get you guys to write a piece of poetry that is, I tend to call the fourth line is the title. So this is the kind of way that each stanza or paragraph of the poetry works. So you have these 3 lines, and then the fourth line, which is the title. Now, the lines 1, 2, and 3, they always tend to rhyme with each other. So we've got kind of, in fact, let me do it like this. So you've got line 1, I would call A. Line 2, I would call A. Line 3, I would call A. And then the fourth line, this line is the title. And the reason I put these A's in is because I often use letters, and a lot of poets do, to kind of show the lines that rhyme with other lines. So if a line has an A, it needs to rhyme with another line that has an A. So this poetry form has 3 lines that you notice that all rhyme with each other, and then the fourth line, it says this line is the title. I can give you an example. There's a poet called John Cooper Clarke who used this a lot. This is Hire Car. He used it in this. Now, John Cooper Clarke was a really, he's still performing at the moment, but during the 80s and early 90s, he was a really exciting punk poet in many respects. Like, he would perform in between like bands setting up equipment at pubs and in gigs, and he would often kind of rant within his poetry. There were a lot of poets around this time that were kind of known as the ranting poets, and they're still, their work studied quite a lot, and it's a very kind of British thing, I think, to have this tradition of these kind of angry, ranting kind of poetry pieces, and he used this form a lot. So this is what he used. Double park, don't lock the door, push the pedals through the floor, give it loads and then some more, it's a hire car, baby. And the poem is called Hire Car. Grip the stick, grind the gears, watch that distance disappear, never yours in 1,000 years, it's a hire car, baby. Do we notice how we got that? Oh, cool. Emma, lovely to see you on the thread. I've just seen you're on as well. Fantastic. So let me make that a bit larger. You notice I've got this rhyme scheme here. So you see all those first lines, they all rhyme with each other. Do you see that? Those first 3 lines, they're all A's because they all rhyme. Door, floor, and more. They all rhyme with each other. Then we move on to B because baby doesn't rhyme with those. And then because the next line doesn't rhyme with A or B, it becomes C. So we've got grip the stick, grind the gears, watch that distance disappear, never yours in 1,000 years, it's a hire car, baby. And someone says here, look, it sounds like a song, Jack says. Yeah, absolutely. It does sound like a song. I think this form is great for performance because it really helps the sound of things. Now, I can show you a little clip of John Cooper Clarke performing this. You should be able to hear it. Let's see if I can make this work, because if I can, I've never tried an animated overlay before. Let's try this. Now, we'll go full animated overlay. Have a little look at this.
Double park, don't lock the door, push the pedals through the floor, give it loads and then some more, it's a hire car, baby. Did I do double park? Right, bad behaviour on the street, save yourself a couple of sheets, collision waiver, keep it sweet, it's a hire car, baby. Hire car, why would anybody buy a car? Bang it, prang it, say ta-ta, it's a hire car, baby. Bad behaviour on the street, save yourself a couple of sheets, collision waiver, keep it sweet, it's a hire car,
Okay, so do you see then how he's doing that? He's got this kind of, it gives it a great deal of momentum by having these 3 lines that rhyme with each other, and then he repeats that repeated line, which is the title as it goes through. It does sound very much like a song. I would say, is it a rap? Well, you can rap whilst doing this, certainly. I think rap is, you can certainly use it within rap. I have written these and I can make them fit within a beat. It's something I can definitely think of. But what I think is great about it, and you notice how he even kind of like cracks a joke to the audience a bit. He goes, "Did I say this?" And then he kind of ducks out and goes back in. I think it's a form of poetry that's particularly good in performance, and I think it connects really well in performance. Now, I can give you an example of this. He sounds a bit monotone. Well, maybe. Well, see, John Cooper Clarke was such a major influence. He did so well. If you ever check his work, you'll hear that his voice does sound very it does sound quite monotone. He hits the same tone again and again as he performs, but he's probably, in performance poetry, he's probably one of the poets that could sell out the biggest to the biggest audiences. Like, he can get lots and lots of people can come and see him because they know his style of poetry so well. So I use this form myself. I've used it a few times. I've used it for a poem I'll read to you guys now. This is quite a political poem, but I wrote this. I normally perform it to Key Stage 4, don't normally perform it to Key Stage 3, but I think, well, let's see how we do. Did he forget the words? Absolutely. Yeah, he did. He did forget the words. I've performed a gig with him once a while back, and I think he forgot some of the words at some point then. He sometimes does when he's performing. He's quite a character, and I think people enjoy his like his personality on the stage when he's talking about things. And he makes mistakes, like all poets, and particularly performance poets. But he's very confident and happy with his mistakes, so that they become part of the show whenever he's like performing. So guys, I'll read you this piece that I wrote. I wrote this. I actually wrote this about the Queen. And it's a bit of an angry poem. I wrote this because my wife Lucy, she works in the library service, and she was made redundant. And around about this time, it was revealed that the Queen had not been paying tax. And like a lot of people, she'd been avoiding paying tax. And so okay, cool. See you later on, Lucy. So I decided I would try and write a poem about how annoyed I was that she wasn't paying tax and that she should pay tax. Because if she paid tax, it turned out like lots of people working in libraries wouldn't have had to be sacked. So that's what I wrote about. Now I'm going to give you, I'll give you some of that poem. It's quite angry. I should warn you. And I should say before I start, I'm not particularly against the Queen or anything like that. I just think as a poet, the ranting poets particularly, the idea was you could rant and complain about anything you wanted. So that's what I wrote about, and it goes like this. Come join me on a distant land where rich and rich walk hand in hand. The beer is good, the food is bland, and the Queen won't pay her taxes. Where even monarchs join the horde who profit off of Cayman shores. She loves us all, just savings more, the Queen won't pay her taxes. Come witness David Cameron standing up all strident saying Jimmy Carr is morally wrong, and then go sort of silent. Now his colleagues are defending it like, I'm not being funny. It's not like she's responsible. She just gets to spend the money. I mean, taxes are a pain, and why would she want to pay them? Why even think to bother her? Why even make a statement? Life's a beach. The whole thing can be blamed on her advisors. Stop getting sand in your Elizabeth Reginas. Dig deep and help your school stay running. Cheer behind her gates in London. Mum's redundant. Bring your bunting. The Queen won't pay her taxes. Yes, wave your flags. It seems we now lack doctors, midwives, council flats. They've built a poor door round the back. The Queen won't pay her taxes. Oh, diamonds, diamonds, Jubilee. Guess what? We're having soup for tea. Don't worry how the money's split. Just gaffer tape your upper lip. The meat is bad. The legs are hollow. Revere the past. Forget tomorrow. Opt for Bright House when you borrow. Look, she cares as much as Bono. Learn the handshake. Step up, kneel, bow your head. Yes, seal the deal. Part head of state, part Ian Beale. The Queen won't pay her taxes. And deep within this madness poised her subjects, acting all annoyed. Why should that cash be in our schools and hospitals, who act all bruised like this is what the rich should do, who argue it's not even news, it's just the way it's always been. Stop being soft. Do all agree that when there's something, if it's hard or detrimental to those in charge, it's not worth doing? Just keep calm. Shut your libraries, chuck the arts, cut police out on the street, cut council funds, just scrape and bleed and learn your place. Don't make a fuss. They'd love to help you out, but it's just really bally hard though, so your kids will never own their homes. Oh look, it's Gary Barlow. He's played the game, invests a few grand. Is this all that you can do? Thanks, Philip. What's this talk of food banks? The Queen won't pay her taxes. Smell the roses, feel the pride. our sickest are routinely tried and forced to work. Some have died. The Queen won't pay her taxes. 1 in 5 kids grows up poor. It's getting worse. And such a bore. Don't fix it. No, why care at all? Let's flog the same old horse some more. Choose Jafar, screw Aladdin. Squeeze the empire till it's cracking. Never question, never challenge. 5 grand's just too much for cladding. This is Britain. This is it. Where tax is for the poor or thick. The strong can take, the weak will give. Oh, what a world we'll leave our kids. Okay, cool. Right, done. Now, that is quite an angry political piece. I've got somebody saying, hello, hi, Toby, nice to see you. Are you a Republican, Mark? Oh, good question, right? So a Republican is someone that doesn't believe we should have a royal family. I don't believe that. I think the royal family actually does a lot of good. I think that we need, like for tourism, for cultural status around the world, I think the royal family can be better. I think that we are doing things like badly in some regards, and I think that one of those things was not paying the tax that should have been paid. I think if we want Lewis Hamilton and other figures within society to pay tax, we need our head of state to do it, right? Otherwise, she would be paying herself. No, yeah, I understand. The thing that's funny about it though is like she kind of agreed she was going to do it beforehand, and then it didn't happen. Right. So anyway, regardless, it's been resolved now, and it's great. But when I wrote that, I wrote it because we have a tradition of like ranting poets. We should be fellows. Hiya, hello. Okay, we're getting into a big political discussion. This is fantastic. But what I want to look at is the process of how I put it together. All right. So when I made this. I'll give you an example. So I followed that same format. 3 lines that rhyme, and then. So here we go. Come join me in a distant land where rich and rich walk hand in hand. The beer is good, the food is bland, and the Queen won't pay her taxes. Where even monarchs join the horde who profit off of Cayman shores. She loves us all. The savings more, the Queen won't pay her taxes. Okay, so that's great. We've got this format and this structure, and it means that by keeping that, the title was The Queen Won't Pay Her Taxes, by having that as a repeated line to work towards, it helps the whole piece stand together. Now, I didn't just do this when I was kind of writing about the Queen. If I ever have a commission and I'm not sure what I'm working on, I'll sometimes use it. This is a piece I wrote for some friends who were getting married. I did the same thing here. I've just kind of ripped it from the piece I wrote from them. So I said, we booked a venue, set a date, sent invites out to all our mates. You found a dress, we bought a cake, we might as well get married then. We're way beyond those fickle flights of fancy. We both kiss sometimes. You put up with me this long, right? We might as well get married then. Now I'm kind of playing about with the rhythm in the second row, but you see that same format. We've got this AA, all 3 lines rhyming, and then the statement afterwards, and then all 3 lines rhyming, and then the statement afterwards. Now today, I'm going to see if we can go away from this session understanding how we could write our own poetry using this form. So that's the challenge I'm going to set for you guys. First of all, my question is, what would you like your title to be? What is the thing you want to say in the poem? What do you want your repeated line to be? So, what do you want your 4th line to be? Is the question. It should be something you want to repeat a few times. So let's see if we can get that. Okay, so what do you want your 4th line to be? It should be something that you want to repeat a few times. What's the statement you want to make? Perhaps you want to write something that's quite upbeat and quite happy and jolly. Perhaps you want to have something where you complain. I don't mind, but you need to choose something you want to be, that you want to use your 4th line. I've done this in the past when I've said, I've read it for a for a speech, best man speech once, where I kind of had the name of the groom, something, what a catch. That was my 4th line, and I kind of riffed off of that. I've also done this in the past. I know that like Luke Wright, Tim Clare, both poets that use this a lot, and I see this a lot when I go to London. Occasionally, if there's a slam or there's an open mic, I'll probably see at least one of these forms appearing over the course of the night. So what's the 4th line for you? What do you want your 4th line to be? That's the challenge today. Okay, so Jack's got a great suggestion for his 4th line, but the work just keeps on flowing. So his poem is going to be about I guess maybe about like writing or what he's putting together. That's a really cool idea. But your fourth line is going to be, but the work just keeps on flowing, or just the work just keeps on flowing. You can play around with that, but that's his fourth line. What does anyone else think they would like to have? I'm going to give you a minute to think about this. What's your repeated line? The great news with this form is that once you've got your fourth line, you've written a lot of the poem. Like, you got a lot of it solved. Let me put that up there. So what's your fourth line going to be? Hello, Bill. Nice to see you. You're very welcome to be here. So, what do we think? What do you want your fourth line to be in that first stanza? We got, but the work just keeps on flowing. Perhaps it could be, um, there's no one there's no one quite like grandma. You could say that. That would be a good final line. You could have a really funny piece actually, where you increasingly like have grandma doing like awful things. There's no one quite like grandma. It's like she's robbing trains and doing all sorts of stuff, and that's the fourth line each time. There's no one quite like grandma. Maybe you've got something that annoys you. The screen beams. Okay, the screen beams. I like absolutely, Bill. I think that's cool. We might want to add a few more words to that fourth line. So might and still the screen beams, or like endlessly the screen beams, or throughout it all the screen still beams. You could have that, but we might want a couple more words. But I think that's a nice idea, and it's a little bit. I like it. That's kind of a bit sinister, isn't it? Like we're talking about the screen. Okay, yet the world will continue to turn. Lovely. Emma, what a great fourth line. So we can have all these other things going on, and we're going to keep coming back to this idea of the world still continuing to turn. We've got loads of ideas then. Now, from this point on, you do not, like we said with everything else, you do not have to share what you have written with me. You can keep it to yourself. That's totally fine as we're going. But we're going to see if we can come up with our own first stanza. So as a reminder, my first stanza for the for that wedding one was: we booked a venue, set a date, sent invites out to all our mates. You found a dress, we bought a cake. We might as well get married then. Okay, we booked a venue, set a date, sent invites out to all our mates. You found a dress, we bought a cake. We might as well get married. And still, my room was not clean enough. I like, that's a nice idea. So we know with this as an example, we're going to have that as our fourth line. We need 3 lines that build up to that fourth line that all rhyme at the end. Now, I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes to see if you can come up with a completed stanza. Stanza being like one paragraph of poetry. Can you come up with the 3 lines beforehand that lead up to your line that is there? So Toby is going to have 3 lines that build up. They must rhyme with each other, and they must build up to that is not clean enough. Your time... guys, you're doing really well, by the way. I think this is probably the fiddliest, most ambitious session we've done so far. So I think you're doing really, really well. So let's see how we do. I'll give you guys 3 minutes. 3 minutes. What can you have to make that first stanza work? What can you put in before it? Okay, you've got a bit of time here to really think about it. Remember, it doesn't have to be overly complex. I actually think the very first stanza, you're setting the tone. It can be the simplest one. You don't need to worry about jokes in the first stanza. You don't have to kind of make it too humorous. You've got to kind of like make it really clear what's taking place. So Toby's going to have 3 things that you might have done, and still my room was not clean enough. At the end of 3 minutes, what can you get? Can you get that first stanza worked out? If you can, have a go at the second one. See how you do. I've got my example there that you can see. So you can see those as we're going. I'll put some music on and we'll see. But we are away. Two minutes. I'm excited to see what you get. This is going to be cool. we've got a minute left. So how are we doing? Remember, it's 3 lines that rhyme, and the 4th is that repeated line. Let's see how we're doing. Remember, we don't worry. It's fine if we make mistakes. Feel free to share what you've got. We'll talk through it. We're going to work through it together. As long as by the end of this workshop, we all feel confident that we could use this form, I think we're going to be on a winner. Oh, Jack, I've just seen yours, Jack. 10 out of 10. Really nice. Really, really nice. Hello, Toby. I can see all your lines. I'm trying to see where the rhymes are, Toby, in your lines in the build-up. But I think... Let's see that. Remember, we got this is our rhyme scheme we're trying to use. Okay. I see. Toby, don't forget we need to try and get these rhymes at the end. You notice how with date, mate, and cake, those words all rhyme with each other? We've got to kind of see if we can manage those. All right, cool. Time is up. Let's see what we've got then. All right, now don't worry if you're still working through this. The aim is just by the end of this that we manage to get this worked out. So let's see. All right, I'm going to give an example here that I think is spot on, and we're going to have a look at it and why it's so good. So Jack, brilliant. We've got, I'm going to remove this example here. Remember, that's the rhyme scheme up here. So what we're going for is, when teachers can't be bothered to mark. All right, so the next line needs to rhyme with mark. When teachers can't be bothered to mark. When all the dogs do is bark. When the room is completely dark. The work just keeps on flowing. Lovely. There we go. So we've got 3 lines there that all rhyme, and the 4th line is the title, so that's fantastic. That works really, really clearly. I think that is absolutely spot on. Let me see what I can find next. Jack, you've absolutely nailed it. You've hit everything. That Stanza is absolutely perfect. Let's see what we've got. Okay, Bill. All right, cool. This is cool. So what am I doing here? I thought we could share. Souls bare, but the screen beams. Yeah, I like it a lot, Bill. I think it's really cool. I think what we've got is we've got a difference in line length, which is going to change your meter a bit. Here and share and bear with my accent doesn't rhyme. The here and the share isn't perfectly rhyme. What am I doing over there? I thought that we could share souls bare. For my accent, that would work, or the way that I pronounce the words. Perhaps it rhymes better for you. But in order to hit those 3 rhymes, here might need an adjustment. Souls bare is lovely. I really like it a lot. You might want to find, because it's so much shorter than the other lines, you might want to add a couple of words in it to kind of to kind of get that meter kind of flowing a bit more. But the screen beams, yeah, great. I like it a lot. I think it's a really good piece, Bill. I can see where it's going. I just think that those are the only suggestions I have. Maybe here change. Maybe add a couple of words into the sentence for souls bare. All right, Emma, what we got over here? Toby, you're fine at this. Don't worry, it's good. We're in a world where we struggle to thrive. Where if you're different, you'll be tossed into the hive. Nice. Yes, we got another hive. When it comes difficult to live your life. Yep, great assonance. That's great. I'll accept that. Yet the world will continue to turn. Yeah, great. Those 3 lines all work. So notice we've got thrive at the end of one line, hive at the end of the second one, and then life at the end of the third. Even though the v and the f are different consonant sounds, the matching vowel sounds means it's totally fine. Right, Toby, let's have a chat, Toby. You're doing great. Don't worry. So what we've got, the first line. Okay, cool. So we've got, okay, so if I give you your line, so how I'd suggest, I go, I dusted all the way through the night. Yeah, I dusted all the way through the night. I swept, I mopped, I something and wiped. All through this, my mum, she griped. If you had that, then you'd have the 3 lines, yeah? I dusted all the way, I dusted shelves all through the night. I mopped, I soaked, I sweated and wiped. My mum through this, oh, she griped. and still my room was not clean enough. Then it would totally work. And I think you've got your rhymes, right? Wiped and griped is really nice. You just need the first rhyme before that as we go through. So just a reminder, there's a Jack's one. It's a really nice clear one. What I like is he's put it down with the line breaks as well. So we've got when teachers can't be bothered to mark, when all the dogs do is bark, when the room is completely dark, the work just keeps on flying. All right, so here's the challenge. That's our first attempt at a stanza. We're going to go again. We're going to see if we can write a second stanza. Remember, the great news, fourth line is already written because your fourth line is down. So like, put that down. Toby, you can nail it. I'm sure you'll get it, right? You're on the edge of it. So Toby, put that line down at the end. And still my room was not clean enough. And then work out the 3 lines before that. So what can be your 3 lines? Remember, the end of each line has to have a rhyme. I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes to see if you can get your next line. I'm going to put Toby's up as an example because I think I like the last line. And still my room was not clean enough. All right, so we're going to put this down as the 4th one. We've got 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. All right, cool. So that's what we're looking at. What are our 3 lines that come before that? If you would like to, you can have a go at Toby's idea. So we must get a rhyme at the end. We must get a rhyme at the end. I'm just going to put rhyme down for each one, just so we can kind of remember that. All right. Rhyme, 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 and still my room was not clean enough. A something, something, something rhyme, something, something, something rhyme, something, something, something rhyme, and still my room was not clean enough. This is what we're going for the second one on Toby's. All right. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. We're going to see what we can do. You're doing really, really well, by the way. This is ambitious stuff. So, our timer is going to be for 3 minutes. 3 minutes starts now. If you manage to finish this, great. Go for another one. Like, see if you can get another one in the bag. We've got one. Jack's flying. Jack's got another one here. That's fantastic. But don't worry if you're finding this difficult. This is fiddly. Put it out. Once you've written it as well, try saying it out aloud. These kind of poems are designed to be heard, I think, over read. They can certainly be read as well. But if you say them out loud, I think you get a feeling for how they sound and you can imagine how they're going to sound to people. Let's see what you can come up with. What is your second stanza, your second paragraph going to have in it? So rhyme, 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 and still my room was not clean enough is a good example. If I was looking for rhymes, I think I would consider mopped and stopped and flopped or oh, very interesting. Oh, Adam, you're so close. You're so close. You're still rhyming couplets, Adam. What I think you need to do is your third line needs to rhyme with line 1 and 2. So take line 1 and 2. Third line's got to rhyme with that. If you can do that, then I think you'll nail it. I'll go through yours in a second. You're on the edge, though. I'm really impressed. Oh, Bill! Yes! Bill, nailing it. Absolutely. Great. Yeah, Bill, absolutely. I love it. What I like is you've got like the same kind of length, the same kind of rhythm for each of the lines. That'll make it fit really well. I'm going to show you as an example. That's ace. Okay, so we've got about 30 seconds left. see how we do. Toby, I'm so invested, Toby, in what you come up with at the moment. I'm really interested in what you get. Oh, Emma. Nice, nice. All right, cool, 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 cool. All right, cool. Let's have a little look. Right now, don't worry if you're struggling to go through these, and if you're joining us afterwards. I know we get the vast majority of people watching this will be watching this afterwards. That's cool. I think it's really good that we've got, and thank you guys so much, people that are here right now, because you're giving us some really great ideas that we can explore, and we can kind of see how this works. So let's have a look at Bill's for a start. I think Bill's is a really nice example. So we've got shine light at her face, thoughts like lace, thumbs on keyboard race. Yep, so we've got those three lines that rhyme, and then the fourth line was going to be his title, which is like, but the screen beams. Yeah, that would be his fourth line there, that stanza. Fantastic. And what I like about it, when we've got this kind of like repeated line, sometimes the thing that's repeating can feel ominous, right? It can feel a little bit, worrying. Why is it always there? Why are we repeating that line? But I think it's great. Bill, I think that's absolutely spot on. I love it. Right, next we've got... all right, let's have a look at this. So Adam, I think, is on the verge of it with his. So we've got the voice in my head keeps me up. I've just about had enough. Now, up and enough, great. That's assonance. We've got the same vowel sounds, so it works. Those two lines rhyme, right? That absolutely. Those two are locked in. I'm looking for the third line to rhyme with those. That's what I want. And what we've got instead is thoughts bind my mind like a vortex in my mind. So we've got these three "ind" lines in there, which is really cool, actually. I think it's a really unique way of writing. But for this form, that line, that third line, thoughts bind my mind like a vortex in my mind, needs to end with a word that rhymes with enough or up, an sound. Thoughts bind my mind, this is tough. If you said that, the voice in my head keeps me up. I've just about had enough. Thoughts bind my mind, this is tough. But I'm tired and insomnia. Plays its game. Does that make sense? So we need to change that third line so it rhymes with up and enough. The second stanza, when I sigh and say goodbye, I really can't see the reason why. Yes, spot on. The third line needs to rhyme with those. I struggle and curl and toss and turn. And so that's where we need to change that into an I, right? I struggle and curl I struggle and curl feels like I'm fry. I struggle and curl. I can't deny. I'm tired and insomnia plays its game. You could say that. So when I sigh and say goodbye, I really can't see the reason why. I struggle and curl. I can't deny. I'm tired and insomnia plays its game. Do you see that, Adam, what I've done there? So I put deny in at the end of that line instead of turn, and that will mean you've got those three lines. And you see those three letters, the AAAB and then the CCCB. That's because those three lines all rhyme with each other. All right. If you can nail that, Adam, you'll absolutely smash it. All right. Yeah, that is deep. I agree, Toby. Like, that's nice, isn't it? Adam, you've done it already. When I sigh and say goodbye, I really can't see the reason why. I struggle, toss, turn, and have to lie, but I'm tired and insomnia plays its game. Yes. Now, 10 out of 10. Absolutely nailing it. Well done. Right, so next we've got... Oh, Toby, on the verge. All right, we'll do Toby's and then we'll do Emma's. All right, so Toby came home. I admit it was a mess. I was unaware it was a guess. Yes, rhyme, spot on, ding, ding, ding. And then third one just has to end in S. Mum knew she really got tough. So if we can change that tough to S. Came home, I admit it was a mess. I was unaware it was a guess. Mum knew she was not impressed. You could say that. Mum knew she was not impressed. Still, the room was not clean enough. Does that make sense, Toby? If you can change that third one so it rhymes with the others, they should all rhyme. Basically, all three should rhyme with each other. And the first two do. They're spot on. All right, cool. You're getting there. Nearly there. Right, Emma, let's have a look at yours. How can we expect to live forever? Where if you're a different religion or colour, you will be like the weather. All right, cool. I see what you've done here. So the first line is, how can we expect to live forever? So we're trying to rhyme with forever. Where if you have a different religion or color, you will be treated like the weather. I think that line works because we get weather and forever. But if you notice, that line from the question mark onwards down to weather is really long. And it will be hard for you to make that flow and scan. So you need to kind of reduce that line so it is as long as, how can we expect to live forever? So, for example, you could say, how can we expect to live forever when we get treated like the weather? You could say that's about the same length. So many wonder if we can come together, yet the world continues to turn. All right, if you can kind of condense it down so you get that rhythm in, you absolutely nail it. But your rhymes are spot on. You got the rhyming spot on. All right, cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Toby. Right, fantastic. So we get this, right? We get how we're doing this. This is the pattern we follow: 3 lines that rhyme, and then the statement. I'm going to give you one last shot at doing this. We're going to try it one more time. This is going to be the final time we try doing this in the workshop. So have one more go. All right, we're going to have one more go. If you want to go for something like a bit more ambitious this time, I can show you like you can like play around with this a bit. So John Cooper Clarke does in one of his pieces, I think Action Man, he shows off a bit by kind of running the rhymes on further. So this is what he kind of writes with here. Look at this. And what he does is he just keeps that rhyme going for ages. So he's actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These first 5 lines of the stanza, they all rhyme, and then the 6th line is the title. So he goes, give him scars and khaki to wear, remove his balls, he'll go anywhere. He doesn't speak, he doesn't dare. Death sneaks, he isn't scared. Minus balls, he doesn't care. Jacks beware, Action Man. He can Accrington, bomb Berlin, reduce your car to a heap of tin, wage war, what's more, win. Punctured skin means nothing to him. The human grenade, minus pin, that's him, Action Man. You see that? So what he's done there, it's pretty cool. He's tried to like rhyme loads and loads and loads and loads, and it's kind of like you're showing off. Like, how many times can you hit those rhymes until you have the title? If you want to push yourself, try and go for like a longer stanza now. See how many times you can rhyme with yourself before you manage to kind of hit the stanza. But this is it. It's the last time we're going for. We're going to go for one more of these. I'm going to give you 3 minutes, and I'm hoping to see from everyone that the lines are kind of the same length. If you can put them in line breaks, that's great. Let's have a look at Jack's as an example before we start. So what have we got? I'm running out of time. I'm far from fine. I need to stop stepping out of time, but the world just keeps on flowing. Yeah, I like it a lot. I think that's great. Time, fine, and time, they all rhyme. Time rhymes with itself, right? So I think you might need to try and change one of those lines so you don't have the word time in it. So you're not just bouncing off the same word with itself. You kind of want to have something else, decline, or swine, or rhyme. You can think of loads of words that rhyme, but I would suggest changing one of those lines so you've got a bit more variety. But everything else about the rules you are hitting there brilliantly. All right, so here we go. We're going to go for one more. All right, this is going to be the last one today. We're going to see how we do. I'm hoping to see that you are kind of nailing it on the length. Feel free to kind of tweak on anything else you've got, but 3 minutes to see if you can have a fresh one. See how you do. I'll put music on. Let's put that on. So impressed with you guys. This is it's a tough thing, and it's once you get used to it as a form, you can do a lot with it though. You can make funny pieces. Tim Clare's a friend of mine. He's got so many funny pieces where he uses this form, and you can do really angry ranting pieces. And when you perform them, they work really well with a live audience. Let's see, how are you going to do? This is the last one we're going for. Can we hit all the rules? Can we get all 3 lines rhyming? Oh, Jack, let's have a look at yours. Oh, Jack, great. I'm going to put it up on the screen as an example as we're going to... Yeah. That flows brilliantly, Jack. You've absolutely nailed it. We've got a really nice example there. We've got 3 lines. Ignore Jack's name. We start with, my head is muddled. I want my work to be crumpled. The world just keeps me troubled, but the work just keeps on flowing. That's great. We can tell, because we put the line breaks in, we can tell actually that the first line might need to be a bit longer, like slightly longer, because we can see already that it's much short. It's a little bit shorter than the others. So for the rhythm, you might want to. My head is feeling really muddled. Yeah, my head is throbbing, feeling muddled. You know, you can add a couple of words in to kind of have it working. Yeah, these are great. All right, cool. Let's see how we do. Bill, you're on rocket fuel, Bill. Okay, that's I like what you're doing there as well, Bill. You kind of you've changed it up. That's what we need to talk about to finish the workshop, because it's a kind of a bonus rule we need to be aware of at the end. But yeah, let's see how we do. Let's see how we do. I'm going to kind of give another 10 seconds after this time's finished. Remember, we can't worry about being perfect. You've got very little time to write each of these. Okay, so keep on seeing how you're doing. All right, let's see how we're doing today. All right. Okay, let's have a look. Right, so let's have a look at Bill's, because I really, really like this, what you've done, Bill. All right, so her attention grabbed, snagged and bagged. I feel I'm bagged. I feel I'm gagged, the screen beams. If we just look at those 4 lines, we've got, haven't we, grabbed, bagged and gagged. Those 3 all rhyme with each other. That works really well. And the screen beams, I think that's nice. I like the fact that the lines are all kind of in a similar length. So we know that they're probably going to be roughly the same amount of syllables within them, so the rhythm's going to work. And it does. That's really nice. Underneath that, if we take the next 2 lines after that, we've then got my smile dims, the screen beams. I feel like, Bill, you might have found your ending, maybe. I think that might go at the end of the whole piece. I like the fact that we're not doing 3 lines the same. We're changing up towards the end. And this is kind of a bonus rule that we need to be aware of with this form. If you just do this again and again and again, the exact same thing, eventually it will start to feel a bit samey. Like, people will start to, in the audience, they might start to get a bit bored. It won't have, that repeated line won't have the same impact, because you follow exactly the same formula again and again and again. So let's have a look at another one. But yeah, Bill, it's a nice way to change it up. I thought it was cool. I'm getting very desperate for some food. My stomach roars, showing my mood. Please. I think you could have another please in there to kind of make that line a bit longer, so we know it feels the same. Please help me, dude. Tension, my stomach is a bottomless pit waiting to be filled. Okay, cool. I think we need to, that 4th line needs to be kind of short. Maybe it's like, my stomach's a bottomless pit waiting to be filled. Maybe we kind of shorten it to that. But the rest of it, I think, is great. I think maybe please help me, dude, might need one more word. I would recommend a bonus please. But that sounds great. Let's have a look at this. The world is dying, the climate growing, and the leaders going into hiding. Yet the world continues. Okay. The world is dying, with the climate growing. We haven't got a complete rhyme there. Dying and growing is close. Our leaders going into hide. Dying and hiding works. So I think that's really, really nice. But that second one, climate growing, maybe climbing. The world is dying, with the climate climbing. Our leaders going into hiding, yet the world will continue to turn. If you change growing to climbing, I think you would get those rhymes, and that would work really well. All right, Toby, let's hear what we do. The day breaks. I awake. 10 seconds, I realise I'm human, not like the dawn chorus, the birds that quake, until the rays, the sun, its warmth envelops the nature around me. Okay, Toby, I like this a lot. It's very expressive. I think we've got breaks and we've got quake. I can see those. I feel like we need, like, we need like that other third rhyme. Don't worry, don't know this is good. All one. Okay, all one under the sun. All right, okay. I understand what you're doing, Toby. I can see it. I can see how it will fit as you're writing it down. That's cool. All right, okay, cool. So we've got our idea, right? We've got our idea. I'll show you one more time how I ended up running it. So when I did mine, the Queen won't pay her taxes. I go, come join me in a distant land. Can you see that? Land, hand, and bland at the end of the lines. Come join me in a distant land where rich and rich walk hand in hand. The beer is good, the food is bland, and the Queen won't pay her taxes. Where even monarchs join the horde who profit off of Cayman shores. She loves us all, but savings more. The Queen won't pay her taxes. Okay, cool, cool, cool. You see how that happens? And it's the same thing when I was writing my wedding one, which is this one here. We booked a venue, set a date, sent invites out to all our mates. You found a dress, we bought a cake. We might as well get married then. We're way beyond those fickle flights of fancy. We both kissed sometimes. So flights and sometimes, and you put up with me this long, right? You might as well get married then, okay? So that's the form. You guys are, you're doing pretty well with it so far. The thing that you've got and that Bill has like started to do is you can't always follow it exactly like that. I think eventually we want to kind of break out. So when I do mine, I do like 2 stanzas like that. And then I break into this separate form where the first 2 lines here rhyme and then the second 2 rhyme. So it's kind of like in couplets. So look, I can show you an example here. We might as well, we cried and yelled and had our disagreements. We both know when it's best to have a row and when it's best to leave it. We both enjoy the rugby. We both can be quite messy. In the evenings after work, we watch the same things on the telly. All right, so that's what I kind of have. So I put that after these. We have our kind of like 3 lines and then the title. I do it twice, and then I break out into these kind of like these longer sections, and then I go back into the form again. So here we go. This is how we kind of go at the end. Going back into the form. So once we've got those lines, after that I go, and look at all the books we've bought. We've holidayed, we've been abroad. Our family came all the way from Porth. And then all those members of the family go, "Hooray, we might as well get married then. 3 years isn't all that long. Your brownie game is pretty strong. In February, there's not much on. We might as well get married then." And so that's the next segment of that poem that I wrote. And you can see how I used that form again there. Now, someone said in the workshop earlier on, it's a little bit like a song. It's like lyrics of a song. And I think it is in many ways. I think that these are like the verses. When you have this form here, it's kind of like the verse of the song. And when you get into, it's more like a chorus when you move into those other kind of pairs of lines. Here's the challenge then. I would like you to see what you can come up with using this form. You don't have to worry about using it perfectly. I'm not concerned about that at all. I want to see what you come up with. The challenge is, can you write a poem? Can you finish the poem that you've written? Either you keep using the form exactly as it is, or you break out, or you change it, you do whatever you like. But when you've written something that you're happy with, send it over to me. I can then give you feedback and we can have a chat about what works particularly well in it and what you're trying to do. Bear in mind, there's no right or wrong. It's not about getting it perfect. It's about seeing how you can experiment. And I would say if you give yourself 15 minutes, maybe, and you go, right, what can I do with this poem? How can I extend it? A good target, I think, for this poem is to get to around about 20 lines. I think 20 lines is a good target to see if you can get there. See if you can work out how you're going to say what you want to say. Bear in mind you've got this idea. You can have these 3 lines that rhyme and then the repeat line, but you can break out and you can do other things as well. Anything that you write and you send to me, I will give you feedback on. Can I just say, I've been getting loads of work in, which is fantastic. It might take me like a couple of days to get back to you. And if you're sending work, I would recommend you get your parents or your carers or teachers to send it over. Let me see if I can find my email address. I'll put it on. I'll write a new one. All right. So that's what I'm going to set you guys to do. If you send it to, if you send anything to mark@markgriss.com, or if you want to send it to me via message on here, some people do that. That's totally great. Anything that you send to me, I will give you feedback on, and I will talk to you about what you've done that's effective and what you'd like to do next with it, where I'd like to go. So see what you can do. Give yourselves 15 minutes today. See what you can do with this. I think you guys are all on the edge of having it sorted, and anything that comes to me, I'll give you feedback on. All right, I think that's us done. Guys, you've done so well today. Remember this idea, 3 lines that rhyme. The 4th line is the title. It's a really, really nice way to kind of like hold a piece together. Check out some John Cooper Clarke if you'd like to see how it's done really, really well. And if you can get a piece written, I'll be really impressed. Well done for today. All right, cool. I'll see you later on. Have a great week. And lovely having a few more people on as well. Bill, you've been ace. Toby, awesome. Emma, as always. Adam, you've been great. Jack, absolutely smashing it. Well done, all those other people that have been messaging as well on YouTube and stuff. Well done. See you guys later on. Bye-bye.